tryna get paid. Niggas tryna take my money, no way. I'm a real nigga. I'ma fuck a bitch real quick in my slippers. Bitches on my dick, they gon' dance on my lap. And if you talking shit, you gon' get a bitch slapped. Yeah, I like a mean bitch, not in the scene, bitch.
What's up, boys? It is your boy Lil Fatty here. I'm back on my wrestling shit, so let's do it. Hey, I'm gonna be reacting to Girl on Cinema. She is a cinema YouTuber, so she gets into like movies and stuff, but she's also a wrestling fan. And you know, a lot of wrestling fans, there's not a lot of women ones, so I'm always intrigued in watching other women YouTubers and watching women wrestling fans, because they're a rare species in the woman category. It's just very rare, and I actually like her type of content, but a lot of people hate her because she hates on AEW and blah blah blah, and plus she's only been a wrestling fan for 6 years and blah 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 blah. It's just so dumb. I think that type of stuff is so dumb. I think if you start liking something, even if it's like a day or a week or a year or a whole lifetime, it doesn't matter. If you like something, you can like it. It doesn't matter what time you start. It's just, if you become a fan of it, you become a fan of it. And I hate when people are like, well, I've been a fan for blah blah blah. It's like, it doesn't matter. They can be a fan whenever they want. So anyways, let's react to her video talked about AEW and what my thoughts are on her video, and also talking about AEW too. So let's get on to the video. If you're not a fan of wrestling, if you don't know wrestling, Cody Rhodes is like the head honcho, and he like makes himself like try to look bigger than everybody else, which he doesn't really look that huge. But this is what she talks about in the beginning of the video.
First thing that I just was making my blood boil, getting a little just disgusted by Brandy and Cody. Everything about this family, I despise it. I hate it. They're so showy. There's not a single humble bone in anybody's body in this duo here. I just hate them so much. I understand that Cody has like a big important role in this company, but come on, like, you don't have to shove it down everybody's throat. And you act like you're so important. Like, you act like you and your family are up here and then everybody else is down here. And I don't get what you're doing with that. Are you trying to be heels?
I don't think it's really, like, I get it's really tacky, but I don't really think they're trying to be heels, but I get it. I don't like how he holds himself like he's on top of the high mountain, like he's on top of the food chain when he doesn't even have the championship. Kenny Omega does, but Cody's just like one of the dudes, I think. But it's just very, very weird, and I don't like, and him trying to be a heel and not a heel. It just needs help. It just needs help. I don't think it sucks. I just think it definitely needs some room for improvement into that storyline. And when he comes out, like, and a bunch of like people and like entourage, like his wife and his brother and Arn Anderson, and just everybody behind him, it's like, bro, it's a wrestling entrance. You don't need a whole damn entourage, and they're not even wrestling. They're just coming out with you. Doesn't make sense.
I do have some things to say about the Brody Lee tribute show. I know a lot of people are afraid to say anything negative about that show. I'm talking about you, Jim. But I'm not afraid. And I just want to say, why did Cody get a grand entrance at the Brody Lee tribute show? It doesn't make sense. It was about Brody Lee, but for some reason, we still have a grand entrance of Cody, fireworks and all. Why?
The whole thing about the Cody entrance and Brody Lee is that Brody Lee's son, Brody Lee Jr., Cody is one of his favorite wrestlers besides his own dad, and so his two favorite wrestlers were Cody and Orange Cassidy on the show, and why I think that he had like that big entrance that was for Brody, his son, not technically for Brody. I mean the match was for Brody, but that was just because I don't know. He still had like the grand entrance because he still wanted to make it feel like a show that his son can watch, if that makes any sense. Like Cody didn't want to make it a bummer for Brody Jr., so he just came out like he does because that's Brody's favorite, one of his favorite wrestlers, and I think that's why they did the whole entrance like that. Just my opinion. You have your other opinion on your video, but that's just my opinion on here. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
About you, Cody. It's not about you, Brandy. It was about Brody. Okay, moving on from that nightmare of a family.
Oh!
Let's talk about Brandy's big adventure, and that is www.aewheels.com. Are you f***ing kidding me? Can you be any more blind to what your female audience wants? We don't need a special website to talk about wrestling. Nobody that I've ever spoken to is like, oh, I'm just so terrified to speak up about what I have to say about wrestling, and everybody's just so mean to me. Who the hell are you making this website for? I'm pretty sure you have to pay. It's like a membership program. Not that I promise you, I've not looked into this. I personally think that is just the dumbest idea, and it's such a backhanded thing to do to your female audience.
Yeah, the AEW heels thing is just retarded. Like, it shouldn't even be a thing. I'm not a woman, so I'm not a whammon, but so I don't know about like being a woman wrestling fan, but I feel like the girl on Cinema said I don't get it. Like, I don't feel like there's any like, oh, we hate you because you're a woman and you like wrestling. I don't think anybody ever said that. So yeah, AEW heels, and plus you had to pay for it, like a subscription. Yeah, AEW, that's a scam. I think you guys should cancel that in like 2.2 seconds.
Honestly, from what I've seen of the female wrestling in AEW, like at this point, please just get rid of it, because you are just making women look worse and worse and worse every single episode. You know, with Nyla Rose, you think that Nyla Rose is the representative for females in wrestling? You think that's who we want to represent us? I'm sorry, but it's not. And with this episode, she wasn't even in the match. It was a women's match. She wasn't even in the match. And for some reason, she had to come out at the very end. Why? Why did you have to do that? Why did you have to involve her at all?
Yeah, I don't really like the women wrestling on AEW. It's very, I don't know, stale, very slow. I feel like I'm watching like independent wrestling shows, like the beginner wrestling shows that are just teaching you how to do the ropes and doing your first show. That's what it looks like on AEW. Even though there is good, like girl on Cinema said, but I'm just saying, it's very slow, very dance like step by step, like 1 2 3 1 2 3 arm bar. I feel like they should definitely work on that, because I feel like WWE is several steps ahead of them, and if they're trying to compete with WWE, I think the women have definitely got them beat, in my opinion.
I have to say something about the whole Sting situation. He's basically like a human cuckoo clock. He walks out, he walks back in. He walks out, he walks back in. And they obviously didn't think about the snow situation, because every time they do the snow for his walkout, it gets on the camera and it looks stupid.
Yeah, the Sting thing, that didn't work out at all. Like, they thought they won the lottery when they first got him. Like, they're like, oh my god, we got Sting? You know, like the 40-year-old, the 50-year-old that just came out of retirement because he just had a neck surgery, and they told him that he's not going to wrestle anymore, but he came back, and he's just coming out just coming back in. Like she said, like coming back in and out is like so dumb. I put this on my notes real quick. Let me read it off. I literally said, and I quote, Sting in AEW was very anticlimactic. I saw what they were doing, but when they were trying to do it, they just automatically failed. They were trying to do like the whole WCW thing again, like him hovering from the rafters and him being like this, like man, this myth. And then they try it out, and like the whole Snow thing and the Darby Allin thing is just, really AEW, really? You're really trying to face WWE once they let them go, and you just have this? WWE could have done this, but they didn't want to, so that's why they let them go. WWE just dunked on you with that one. I'm sorry.
Now let's talk about my favorite person to talk about, and that is Aubry. Aubry Edwards. You suck as a ref. So the 6 versus 6 match that was actually supposed to be 7 versus 7. Of course, of all the referees they could have picked, it had to be Aubry who refs this match. It had to be that freaking obnoxious. It's already obnoxious enough that you have 6 versus 6 men wrestling each other, and then you have to throw Aubry in there.
I have to agree again. Aubry Edwards is like the worst referee. Not because Girl on Cinema said it. It's just, it's for real. It's like, bro, get off my shit. It's literally like, I feel like she's just in the way of everything. Like, these guys are just trying to like get in their grapples or trying to get each other on the corner, and then she's just like slapping them, like trying to like, she's doing too much. Refs aren't supposed to be doing that much, but she's doing a like flapping her arms in the air for like no apparent reason. It's like, bitch, get off me.
I actually liked the rap battle match. Who are they?
The Acclaim. Got to beat SCU. Leave them looking like a victim on SVU. Yo.
The Acclaimed. I like the Acclaimed. I think they're really good. I think they have a lot of potential.
Do ya?
They seem real. They seem like they understand the business. They are great heels. And that is where I have to say they missed the freaking boat at Brody Lee's tribute show. Why didn't they let them cut their promo? Get some heat.
Hey, I got something to say about all this Dark Order stuff tonight. Uh-oh.
Why didn't you let them talk about Dark Order? That would have been great. And I think, Brody Lee probably would have wanted that because he's a heel himself. Why wouldn't you want to gain heat off of that tragedy? It wouldn't be disrespectful. That's what any wrestler would want. And instead they give it all to MJF. Like, why can't we have more than one heel? I know you guys always tell me, oh, GSC, there's plenty of heels in AEW, but I just don't see it.
I'm kind of so on the Acclaimed. I like the rap gimmick thing, like how John Cena used to do back in the day when he was first starting out as the Doctor of Thugonomics. Like, they kind of remind me of that group. And also with like the headphones and stuff, it reminds me of Tyson Kidd a little bit. Just a little bit. But anyways, I do like the Acclaim, but I just feel like they're so. And I feel like they're already kind of doing that on WWE with the Street Profits, but that's just me.
I'm going to say too, like, I feel like AEW time after time does not understand how to end a match. It's like they'll end a match and then, somebody's coming out from behind, blah, blah, blah. And now there's going to be a whole nother 10 minutes to the match and we're going to add all these other people in. And it's just like, learn how to end things. That's fine if you want to do that every now and then. But when you are doing that for every single match, I'm not going to be surprised anymore. And it just feels like every match that you have is going to last 20 minutes. And I hate that.
Yeah, them bitches go long. Like, sometimes I'm just there and they're just like beating up a guy or a surprise entrant. And it's like, okay, you can be over with it now. Like, sometimes I even like think that they're trying to wait until like commercial break or something, like, oh, this is getting exciting. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go to commercial break and then come right back. But no, it's just hella long, and they're just egging it on. So dumb. I also agree. Them bitches belong. AEW, cut that shit. Like this. I totally agreed with her the whole video. I'm sorry if you think that I was like, oh, but why do you have to agree with her? It's because, I do. Most of the stuff is, she do be spinning facts, bro. A lot of people hate her, and I just don't know why. It's just, people hate the facts. I don't know. I like AEW sometimes, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like some of these flaws and some of these guys that they're trying to push, they aren't pushing them good enough because they don't think they're good enough. Just like WWE does on the side, but AEW tries to be like, oh, we're opposite of WWE. If you like WWE, you like that kid shit. We're over here, we're all about the kid. We're all about the teens, the adults. It's not all about that. It's just it's very boring. It's very, sometimes there's too many tag teams. It's boy, this is getting really boring. And the main people, the Young Bucks, and she also said stuff about the Young Bucks, but she said it a bunch of times. So I don't want to be being the dead horse, but I feel like they get too much screen time too. It's just push the guys that are no names and try to get their name out there, because I already know who you are. Put some guys out there I don't know, see how they go, But anyways, I like Girl on Cinema, and I like how she talks about wrestling. So she puts it in simple perspectives for me, and I like that. And plus, she's a girl that likes wrestling, and that's very rare, like I said in the start. But anyways, I've been Lil Fatty. Hope you guys like this video, and I am out.
I'll be ready for the war. Tell me where to go. I'm a destroyer. Yellow pussy. Get low or you my dog. I be looking for the killer drug dealer trying to take my life. I don't wanna go.